The most important thing I've learned about motivation is that you and I can't motivate other people. Most of the time, as much as you'd like to, you simply can't get other people to share your enthusiasm just by asking them to work hard.
All right, guys, we got to put a great display together. We got to have that floor looking top-notch. Everything has to be perfect. Every fruit, every vegetable, it's got to be great. And I know you guys can do it because we got a great team in this store, right? We know that the people coming in here are going to look at that and say, this is a great department. Everybody in it has got to be good, all right? So we're going to do a great job. The place is going to look perfect, right? Okay, good.
It's frustrating and discouraging because as a manager, you must get work done through the help of other people. But all is not without hope.
You make people feel like they're part of a team. You give them responsibility so that they have something to contribute.
I have a tendency to give a lot of positive compliments out. I praise people when they do good, but then again, when they do bad, I let them know. I don't jump the gun or fly off the handle.
You can influence every person you work with. In other words, you can help your people to become motivated, but talk or confrontation alone usually won't be enough. The secret is to create a motivating climate or culture. Well, we're just doing a great job in produce. Sales are well ahead, the GP is fine, and I appreciate your support. Why don't we do something special for springtime?
How about asparagus?
I looked up the sales figures. We did 100 cases this same week last year. Let's shoot for 130 this year. You got any ideas?
Why don't we put wooden boxes around the perimeter of the display?
Okay, start to save the boxes.
How about some great signs?
That's a good idea. I'll call the warehouse and get some blanks and place the order. We can build the display on Monday afternoon. I'll get a hold of Tom and have him come in so we'll really have the manpower to do a bang-up job. Let's see if we can make this even better than that great Granny Smith display we had last year. Already, we've shown you the importance of organizing and planning for yourself and your department. And you've learned the value of being a good delegator. And now you must take the next step, and that is to learn just what makes your people tick and how you can get them to work hard and enthusiastically for you. A lot of research has been done on motivation, and this research shows us that people are motivated to the degree that their needs are satisfied. Let's take a look at some needs that all people share. All of us have 5 basic needs, starting with the most basic, survival. Working in a produce department is certainly not a life or death situation. Or is it?
You're ruining a whole load of lettuce. Do you know how much that's costing us? Ah, Glenn, I've had it with you. I've had it.
While you occasionally feel like snuffing out one of your employees, managers can't use even the threat of physical harm to motivate people. So as tempting as this may sometimes be, scratch survival off the list. This leads us to the second basic need, security. Well, Ross, we've had more than our share of problems here. It's a big problem when you're going to be late or you're going to not be in that day and you don't bother to call. And from our point of view, it doesn't seem to take a lot to simply make a phone call. We have customers standing around in the produce department, and when you're there, you seem to ignore them. You're never in the dress code. I mean, you can just see the way you dress today, and you've been told about it several times. Produce managers can and do use an associate's need for security as a motivator. By threatening to cut off a person's income, you're taking away that associate's ability to buy the necessities of food, clothing, and shelter. The need for security is a powerful motivator. Often, just the threat of job loss is enough to turn an associate around. But the manager who uses this as his only motivator is asking for trouble.
If that cooler isn't cleaned up in 10 minutes, it's your job. You understand me? Your job. You're out of here.
Wait, this is the second time this week you fired me.
Fear tactics are short-term motivators. If the threat of job loss is unjustified or repeated again and again, you can expect the associate to walk out the door. This is especially true in today's retail job market, where associates have the luxury of picking and choosing where they want to work. So it's clear that threatening a person's need for security is almost never used, and if so, only as a last resort. And this brings us to the third need that most people have, the need to belong, the need to feel like part of a team, to feel like family, to be part of a group working well together. We've got one more item here. We're going to have a little contest. The store manager has decided that he's going to evaluate each of the departments to determine their readiness for business. And 1 month from today, the highest scoring department is going to have a little dinner held in their honor at the Carlisle Inn. So we're not sparing any money on this little affair. And I'm looking for some suggestions as to what we can do to maybe win this little competition.
I can redo all the signs that are starting to get a little tired.
Well, that's a good idea. Okay, Ross got the prices.
Seems like sanitation's been slipping a little lately, so why don't I set up a regular schedule and we can make sure everything's spotless?
Good idea. Yeah, cleanliness is, yeah, that's great.
I've got some great ideas for displays for summer fruits. Maybe we can use some baskets and give it the feel of an orchard and use some video point of purchase.
Well, that's creative thinking. I'm going to write that down. Managers who are excellent motivators build on this need by running their stores with as much involvement of their people as possible.
Well, I always try to get them involved, and even though I will make the final decision, I try to make them get involved and ask their opinions on it.
The fourth level in this hierarchy of needs is the need to be praised. From infancy on, the most effective motivator is praise, encouragement, recognition by an authority figure. Managers who praise their people, who give their people recognition, are using one of the most powerful motivators of all, positive reinforcement. Even in a barely adequate performer, there's always something you can honestly praise. Hey, Len, thanks for catching that price change I missed.
Sure.
Oh, hi, Marianne. You know, it's a really good thing you caught that short wait the other day.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it said it was 24 count, but it sure seemed like 30.
And they were charging us for the 24, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, they were.
Well, it's a good thing you did. I thought you did a great job, and the
Thanks.
store manager thinks so, too.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work. This looks great. I mean, all the grapes are, there's not too much or too little in any of the containers. Looks like you pretty well culled out all the bad ones.
I tried to get the bad ones out.
Well, good. I think we can move right on now to overwrapping and labeling. Hey, Tom, listen, I wanted to thank you for coming in today on such short notice. It really helped us out. So if you need next Saturday off to spend some time with your kids, just let me know and we can try out a trainee, okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Hey, that's good. No bags means the customer can't buy. And I told Mary you were catching on. Thanks. This brings us to the fifth and final need. People have a need to live up to and even surpass their own personal expectations and the expectations that others have of them. And how does a manager motivate based on this need? Let's have a look. Here the manager talks to the person and draws out a commitment from the associate for a higher level of performance. It seems to be something that you have a certain amount of aptitude for, and I guess basically what I was wondering is if you feel like moving up in the department. I mean, is there a possibility you think you might want to be a produce manager someday?
Sure.
Our manager communicates his confidence in the person's ability to perform at this new level of performance. Next, the manager works out a plan with the person to produce the expected results. Here's what you have to do. First of all, if you have any questions, make sure you come to me about it, because that's what it's all about. You're going to need the information. I'm here to provide it for you, all right? Read more. Read more of the literature we have around. The Packer, for example, that's a great source of information. You're going to have to go around, visit some of the competition, some of the other stores in the area, see what's going on there. That helps you get better ideas of what can be done, helps you make some suggestions. Finally, our manager provides all the necessary resources to ensure success. He follows up. Encouragement is provided. Constructive criticism is offered. Our manager provides input. Obstacles are cleared away. And our manager never lets the employee feel that he's lost confidence in him. There you have it, the 5 levels of needs that each and every one of us possess in varying degrees. The first, survival, does not apply to our workplace. The second, security, has limited application. So it's the remaining 3 needs that managers must learn to address to get the most out of their people. A good rule of thumb is to use them all at once, all the time, in a shotgun approach. This is especially true with employees who you don't know very well. You're bound to be on target with at least one of the approaches if you try them all. Occasionally, you'll find that an associate won't respond to motivating influences. This person should be eliminated from your department. Maybe this associate never should have been hired in the first place. Just make sure you don't give up on the person without first exhausting the other 3 motivation techniques, the need for praise, the need to belong, and the need to achieve expectations. You know, Ross, we talked about this before. Your attitude is inconsistent. You're not completing your work duties. You're not rotating. I'd like you to look at the training tapes again, because when you don't do your work, that means we all have to do it for you. I know you can do it, but if you can't, we're just going to have to find somebody else. As a manager of people, you have an obligation to find out what motivates your associates. If you don't make the effort, then you're sending a message to your associates that you don't care about them. And if you don't care, they won't care either. Remember, associates are not convinced by talk. They're convinced by action. The way your people perceive you is a very powerful motivating tool, and it's one you should be continually working on to perfect. Be enthusiastic. Communicate your enthusiasm all the time, and be a visible role model for the kind of attitudes and behaviors that you want to see in your people. Remember, practice what you preach, and preach what you practice.